Burnout isn't just a buzzword, it's an epidemic. And it's more common than you think. Did you know that nearly 50% of US workers say they feel burned out often or always? That's almost half of the workforce running on empty. But here's the kicker, the highest burnout rates aren't among those who hate their jobs, it's the high performers, the go-getters, the ones who love their work, who suffer the most. According to a study by Gallup, employees who are highly engaged in their jobs are 67% more likely to experience burnout. Success-driven people often ignore the warning signs until it's too late. They keep pushing, thinking they're just stressed or tired, but burnout is much more serious. It can destroy careers, damage relationships, and even lead to long-term health problems. In this video, we're going to uncover the brutal truth about burnout. We'll talk about the hidden ways it sneaks up on you, how society's obsession with productivity is making it worse, and why following your passion might be burning you out. I'll share real strategies you can use to break free and reclaim control over your work and life. Stick around because this might be the wake-up call you didn't know you needed. Ready to face the truth? Let's dive in. Chapter 1, The Silent Ambition Killer, How Burnout Creeps Up on High Performers. Let's face it, burnout is a sneaky thief. It doesn't announce itself with a grand entrance. Instead, it creeps in slowly, often targeting high performers. The reality is, the more successful you are, the more vulnerable you become. According to a 2022 Gallup report, 76% of employees experience burnout at least sometimes, and those who are highly engaged in their work are the most at risk. Why? Because they're so driven that they often fail to notice the warning signs. If you're someone who pushes to meet every deadline, deliver every project flawlessly, and climb the career ladder quickly, you might think you're invincible. But burnout loves people like you. It starts small. Maybe you feel exhausted on Monday mornings or lose excitement for projects you used to enjoy. Soon, that exhaustion turns into dread, and what once motivated you starts to drain you. One thing to remember is this: success and stress are not the same things. Arianna Huffington once said, "Burnout is not a badge of honor." Yet, many ambitious professionals wear it like one. They pride themselves on pushing through, not realizing that chronic burnout can derail their career. The key strategy here is to set personal boundaries. High achievers hate saying no, but sometimes, it's necessary. Learning to delegate, prioritizing self-care, and unplugging after hours isn't weakness, it's sustainability. Take small breaks throughout the day. Studies show that workers who take short, frequent breaks are actually 30% more productive than those who grind for hours without stopping. So, if you're trying to stay ahead, learn to rest before burnout forces you to stop. Chapter 2, The Energy Trap. When productivity becomes a prison, you're told that productivity is everything. You read books on how to hack your time, juggle more tasks, and squeeze every last drop of energy out of your day. But what if productivity is the very thing that's burning you out? The World Health Organization labeled burnout as an occupational phenomenon, and it's often fueled by this obsession with productivity. Many professionals fall into the energy trap, where they're so focused on being efficient that they forget to be effective. They feel guilty if they're not busy every second, but this non-stop hustle leads to exhaustion, not achievement. Take the Pomodoro technique as an example. It's a time management strategy where you work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. It's proven to reduce mental fatigue. By focusing intensely for short bursts, you prevent burnout while maintaining high productivity. Yet, most people never do this because they equate longer hours with greater success. Here's the reality: more hours don't mean more output. A study from Stanford University found that productivity per hour drops sharply when a person works more than 50 hours a week. Beyond 55 hours, there's almost no output at all. So, why do we keep pushing ourselves past that limit? Instead, shift your mindset. Value deep work over busy work. Prioritize important tasks, not just the urgent ones. And remember, just because you're working doesn't mean you're achieving. The best strategy here is to focus on energy management, not just time management. If you can learn to protect your energy, you'll not only avoid burnout, you'll also get more done in less time. Chapter 3, Fake Fulfillment, The Danger of Pursuing Passion for Paychecks. How many times have you heard the advice, just follow your passion? It's one of the most well-intentioned but misguided pieces of career advice out there. Yes, passion is great, but if you're constantly chasing it for financial success, it can backfire. Cal Newport, author of So Good They Can't Ignore You, argues that following your passion is terrible advice. Instead, He suggests that mastery and skill development lead to long-term fulfillment. Chasing passion alone, especially for a paycheck, can lead to disappointment and burnout. Why? Because when passion becomes a job, it's no longer fun. It becomes a responsibility. In fact, a 2016 study by Harvard Business Review found that people who turn their hobbies or passions into full-time careers are less happy than those who pursue traditional jobs. The pressure to monetize your passion can suck the joy right out of it. So, what's the solution? Instead of blindly chasing passion, find work that aligns with your strengths and allows you to grow. Focus on becoming excellent at something rather than simply loving it. Passion is fleeting, but mastery brings long-term satisfaction. Another strategy is to maintain side projects. Keep your passion separate from your main job if possible. This way, you can enjoy your hobbies without the financial stress. And remember, you don't have to make money doing what you love, says career expert Liz Ryan. Sometimes, it's better to have a job that funds your passion than to turn your passion into a job. If you're finding this information valuable, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We have more insights on how to reclaim your career and life. Chapter 4, Invisible Handcuffs. Why success can feel like a trap. Climbing the career ladder sounds exciting, right? Promotions, bigger paychecks, and more recognition. But what happens when the same things that bring you success start to feel like chains holding you down? This is what I call invisible handcuffs. Many professionals feel trapped by their own success. The responsibilities keep growing, the workload increases, and suddenly, the freedom that success was supposed to bring starts to disappear. You might be stuck in a role you no longer love, but the fear of losing the perks keeps you tied down. A 2018 survey by Deloitte found that 77% of employees experienced burnout in their current jobs, with many saying that they felt trapped in their roles. It's not just about working hard, it's about losing control over your time and energy. You end up staying in jobs that drain you, simply because leaving feels like failure. The key strategy? Redefine what success means to you. Success isn't just about titles and salaries. It's about balance, autonomy, and enjoying the work you do. Sometimes, taking a step back is the best way forward. Consider a lateral move, or even a downgrade, if it brings more fulfillment. You can also negotiate for better boundaries. Set limits on after-hours work or ask for flexibility. Companies are starting to prioritize mental health, so you might be surprised how open they are to creating a healthier work environment. Remember, your career should support your life, not trap you in a job that makes you miserable. Chapter 5, Red Flags You're Ignoring. How to spot career burnout before it's too late. Burnout doesn't happen overnight. There are always warning signs, but most of us ignore them until we're deep in the burnout zone. The key is learning to spot these red flags early and taking action before things spiral out of control. One common sign is emotional exhaustion. You start feeling like you're constantly drained, both physically and mentally. A study by Yale found that employees who felt emotionally exhausted were more than twice as likely to leave their jobs within the next year. If you feel wiped out, even after a good night's sleep, that's a red flag. Another sign is cynicism, when you start becoming negative about your work, colleagues, or company. You might catch yourself thinking, "What's the point?" Or "Why bother?" This shift in attitude can signal that burnout is taking over. A third red flag is reduced productivity. If you're struggling to get through tasks that used to be easy, or your performance is slipping, it might not just be stress, it could be burnout. The strategy here is simple: don't ignore these signs. If you notice any of these red flags, take immediate steps to prioritize your well-being. This might mean scaling back on responsibilities, asking for support, or even taking a mental health day. You can't pour from an empty cup, and if you don't act early, burnout can lead to long-term mental and physical health issues. If you enjoyed this content and found it helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'll keep bringing you insights and tips to help you thrive in your career and life.